Hey everybody, it's time for the midweek coin flip battle, and this time we've got Vice President JD Vance for the Republicans and sports personality Stephen A. Smith for the Dems. This one was suggested to me in the comments, and it's a little bit crazy with Stephen A. Smith, but he's been rumored to actually make a run. Meanwhile, JD Vance very likely to be the nominee for the GOP. So as always, it's silly and it's random, but this is for the fans out there, and hopefully we see something maybe we haven't seen before. I think Republicans have a streak going into this one, so let's get started. First up is Alaska, and it's 3 electoral votes. Of course, heads for Vance, tails for Smith, and it's going to be tails for Smith. He gets us started. Let's do Hawaii. We're looking at 4 votes here, and it's going to be Vance who jumps into the lead. How about Washington? And it's 12 electoral votes. And the Evergreen State is going to go red for Vance. Time for Oregon. Another 8 votes, and they're going to be snagged by Stephen A. Smith. And next up, it's time for the big cushion. That's California. 54 votes. Let's do the flip. This is going to be tails. It's going to go blue for Smith. Let's see how Vance responds. Here comes Nevada. Only half a dozen votes here, but they are going to go red for Vance. Time for Idaho. 4 votes are coming to Smith. Let's do Utah. Another 6 of them on the table. Tails for Smith. Here comes Arizona. And it's going to be tails again for Smith. We've got a red Nevada here, totally surrounded by blue. Let's head up to Montana. And this one is going to go to Vance. Wyoming is next. And this state is going to be claimed by Smith. Let's do Colorado. Let's give out these 10 votes. Tails for Smith. Here's New Mexico. And this is going to be tails again. So Smith is already over 100. Vance so far playing passively. Let's do North Dakota. The Peace Garden State is coming to Smith. He's got 4 in a row. Here's South Dakota. Can Vance snap out of it? Yeah, he's got 3 more. The next state is Nebraska at large. If you're going to get hot, this is not the best time to do it. But it is going to be tails for Smith. Now we've only got 1 electoral vote here in the 1st district. Tails again for Smith. Here's Nebraska's 2nd. This is going to be heads. Vance, he's got 1 out of Nebraska. Here comes the 3rd. And closing out the Cornhusker state is Stephen A. Smith. Next, Kansas. The Sunflower State has 6, and they're going to go red. How about Oklahoma? Lucky 7 for one of these 2. And it's going to be Smith. That's going to take us down into Texas. It's a big hole here already for Vance, but this would close the gap. Let's do the flip. This is going to be heads. Vance, he's picking up 40 more. That more than doubles his total. But Smith's still with the lead. Let's do Minnesota. 10 votes for Vance. How about Iowa? This one is going to go blue for Smith. Missouri is next. 10 votes for Smith. How about Arkansas? Who's going to get him? JD Vance, he's got him. Time for Louisiana, down in the Gulf. 8 votes for Smith. That's going to take us east and north to the Badger State, Wisconsin. It's heads. It's going to go to Vance, who's over 100. He's down by 40. Let's do Illinois. 19 votes at stake, and they're going to be claimed by Stephen A. Smith. How about Michigan? Another 15 votes for JD Vance. How about Indiana? The Hoosier State is going to be snagged by JD Vance. He's got 2 in a row. How about Kentucky? 8 electoral votes here. Another one for Vance. Slowly he's closing the gap. Let's do Tennessee. 11 votes. Heads again. It's a 4-bagger for Vance. Here's Mississippi in the Deep South. Half a dozen. 5 straight for JD Vance. He's only down by 8. He could actually take the lead here on Alabama. Let's do the flip. This is going to be Heads, just like that. Vance is somehow in the lead. It's only by one, but Stephen A. Smith has totally imploded here. So let's see what Stephen A. Smith has in store now after that collapse. Let's do Florida, a big 30 votes. This is heads again. JD Vance. He's put up 7 consecutive states. That is very tough to do, but he did it at the right time. I don't know what happened to Smith. Let's keep going. Let's do Georgia. Here comes 8 in a row if Vance picks it up. This is tails. Stephen A. Smith finally snaps out of it. He makes Georgia blue, but that's going to take us into South Carolina. Another 9 of them. We've got tails back to back for Smith. He's down by 6. Here's North Carolina. The Tar Heel State. 16 votes are going to go red for Vance. He's over 200. Let's jump up to Vance's home state of Ohio. He's going to want to win this one, but Smith also looking for the upset. Let's do it. This is tails. Stephen A. Smith. He's got a blue Ohio. Embarrassing for Vance, but he is in the lead by 5. Here comes West Virginia. 4 votes for Smith. That puts him 1 behind Vance. Now we go to the northeast corner. It's Maine at large. Couple of votes for Stephen A. Smith. He's in the lead again now by 1. Let's do Maine's 1st congressional district. This is really getting intense now. And that is going to go for Smith. How about Maine's 2nd? Last one for Maine is going to go red for Vance. Smith ahead by 1. You don't get much tighter than this. Let's do New Hampshire. 4 votes. The Granite State is going to be won by JD Vance. He's back in the lead. Time for Vermont. 3 votes in the Green Mountain State. This is going to be tails. Stephen A. Smith picking it up, and we're tied at 213. It's a pretty incredible battle so far, but somebody's going to break this tie on New York. 28 votes. That's going to be a pretty big cushion headed into the home stretch. An extremely important flip. Let's do it. This is tails. Stephen A. Smith. He's up to 241. Now Vance is going to have the pressure as we head into Massachusetts. 11 votes. It's tails again for Smith. Now he's really got his sights set on the White House. Let's do Connecticut. Vance, he's looking for heads. He's got it. He's got 7 more. Next up, Rhode Island. 4 votes for Stephen A. Smith. The next state has 14 votes. That's New Jersey. I think that technically might be Stephen A. Smith's home state, and that would put him right at 270. So Vance has his back against the wall. He's got to put up heads. Let's see what happens. Here it is. That is tails. It's all over on New Jersey. Every once in a while, somebody wins it on their home state, and it looks like Stephen A. Smith has done it with an even 270. Let's finish up the map. Let's do Delaware. 3 votes. It's heads for Vance. He could technically still finish with 268. Next door, Maryland, 10 votes. This is going to be heads again. It's red for Vance. Here's D.C. Only 3 votes for JD Vance again. With no pressure, Vance is heating up again. Let's do Pennsylvania, 19 of them. The key swing state is going to go red for JD Vance. He's again got 4 in a row, and he could finish with 268 if he picks up Virginia. Here's the final flip. It is heads. Look at that. JD Vance finishes with 268. An incredible hot streak at the end, but it was the minimum amount he could have while still taking a loss. I'm actually not sure if I've ever seen a 270 to 268 finish before, but we've got to congratulate Stephen A. Smith. He got it done with 270 right on the nose. He built up a huge lead, then he totally collapsed. Then he got back into it on New York. Then Vance blazed into the finish with 268. This turned out to be a very exciting battle. But with that said, Smith has the last laugh here. So kind of a streaky affair there for Vance. He swept the 3 Rust Belt swing states, but if only he picked up 1 more out of Nebraska or Maine, then we would have had a tie at 269. That's why every single electoral vote matters. So we're not going to get that 269 tie, but Stephen A. Smith picks up a win here for the Dems. So let me know in the comments, what did you think about this battle? Did you think it was all over for Vance before we got to Texas? Or did you think it was all over for Smith once Vance got his momentum into Florida? Let me know what you think about this finish down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.